Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. I'm continuing to answer questions about OCD recovery. So this is part 2. And the first question is, hi Ali, thank you so much for all your videos and help. For the past few days, I did not focus my attention elsewhere and indulged in the thoughts, and it was horrible. And everything around me that I touched or passed by now feels contaminated. Okay, this is the first stage. That's fine. You're not expected to feel good instantly after you start to do the recovery work. So feeling horrible is okay. I wouldn't really focus on it. My concern is, are you still doing the work? If you're still doing the work, then you're still in the process of recovery. How it feels, again, just like I was saying in the last video, OCD grabs onto your feelings. So it feels bad, obviously. It feels really bad, but the recovery work still needs to happen no matter how you feel. You can't allow the feelings that you're experiencing to stop you, because it just continues on and on. The more you do reassurance, the more you try to make sure everything is okay, you know? So you're now pushing through, you're on a different path. So the person continues, everything around me that I touched or passed now feels all contaminated. Since that all happened, since what all happened was my mistake, what should I do to compensate? No compensating. Allow it to feel dirty. Allow it to feel contaminated. It's okay. And how can I decontaminate everything? You should not decontaminate everything, because now everything I touch will be contaminated because I didn't clean up all that I touched during the thoughts. How can I compensate, decontaminate, and live a normal life? What you're going to do is you're going to refuse to decontaminate, refuse to try to figure out a way out of this, and live with the contamination. You know, it's for example, the same kind of mentality of putting on a dirty shirt. You're going to feel like your shirt is really dirty, but by the end of the day, you're going to forget all about it, you know? So you have to refuse reassuring yourself, because you're gonna fix this situation, decontaminate everything, and then the new one's gonna come. And I can tell you that OCD does not go away until you make it go away. It's not a cold. It's not just gonna, go away in a week, whatever. It doesn't matter what you do. This will continue lingering on and on until you say, enough is enough. I'm not cleaning anymore. I'm done with it. It's very important for you to put your foot down and say no more. So don't try to compensate. Excuse me. So next question is, without my OCD, I was a very anxious person already, as I had a lot going on with my life anyway. So is OCD just a stem of my normal anxiety? I would say yes. Most of the time when I talk to people, if not all the time, people with OCD generally are people who are born more sensitive. So they'll, it's the same with me as well, right? When I was a child, I was always more sensitive to pretty much everything. Feelings get more easily hurt, things like that, So when you take that person, if they're by nature warrior, like a warrior, right? They worry more. And yeah, that's the type of personality that would get OCD. So I would say that when you're having stress, such as what you're saying, right, they're having a lot going on in your life, it can create more OCD. And, again, from talking to so many clients, right, it doesn't really matter that much, if at all, if the stress is good stress, such as having a baby, buying a house, I don't know, starting a new job, or bad stress of something bad happening, right? Either way, stress creates fear, and it seems like the brain doesn't really differentiate well between real fear, real stress, and OCD stress. It kind of lumps it into the same thing, that it's all stress, it's all fear, So if one goes up, at first maybe your attention will get diverted, but then OCD tends to kick in a little bit more. Not for everybody. Some people can refocus their attention entirely on the real stress when that happens, but a lot of the time it affects OCD. For me, it really affected OCD when I was going through stressful periods in my life. So next question, the person writes, still no answer to my question. Do I need to write it again? Yes, write it again, because I can't find it in the back end here. So please write it again, and I will definitely reply to it. It's not a it's not a situation of, you know, on purpose not answering or something like that. I must have missed it. So the person writes, if you stop acting like it matters, it actually stops mattering to you. Exactly, because there's no reality with OCD. It's only, you know, on the front of your mind, only being hyped up like this because you're constantly feeding it attention. You're constantly putting it in the front of your mind. So it's saying, you know what, I'm not going to give any attention to this. And if it becomes, you know, something important and I will know about it, then I'll deal with it, you know. But it's like, you know, so for example, like with harm OCD, well, when police show up at my door, then I'll know I killed somebody, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, until that moment, you're not addressing these thoughts. And like I said, there's no history of this happening to people, you know, it's just in their mind. So, okay, another question is, yeah, the person is writing, is this a good mantra to sum up OCD? Yes, that's a really good mantra. Next question is eye twitching, heart palpitations a symptom of OCD? Did you ever have these symptoms? Do you think that the body can ever recover back to normal from the wear and pain OCD puts on it? Yes, and I think that it's just because your mind is under a lot of stress. It's not so much a symptom of OCD specifically, but a symptom of the extreme anxiety that goes along with having OCD. So for example, if say something really, really bad happened to you, you know, God forbid, right? But if something really, really bad happened to you, you would experience, you know, you can experience eye twitching, heart palpitations, and all those symptoms again because it's anxiety. So it's not tied to OCD. It's tied to extreme stress. Did I ever have these symptoms? Yeah. Yeah. Especially the heart palpitations. I've experienced a lot of that. The eye twitching, not so much, but like from time to time, but it wasn't a common thing all the time. I also had like my knees would shake a lot. You know, when you're sitting down and your knees start to shake, I've had that as well, quite badly. Do you think the body can ever recover back to normal from wear and pain of OCD? Yes, I definitely do. I don't have those things anymore. The other thing, I would really strongly recommend you do meditation, because meditation, just a relaxing meditation, whatever, find one on YouTube and just use it, you know. It doesn't really matter what the content is. It's just you are relaxing your mind, and also sleeping good. You know, you need to make sure that you are giving your mind as much fuel as possible, you know. So I just find that it's really important. Now, if you don't do any of that, your mind will still adjust. After you recover, the stress goes down, it will adjust, but I think that it will heal faster if you know, add additional relaxation to this. Also, exercising is really good because, again, it's relaxing to the mind. And the last question is, two more questions. Why mind goes into OCD thought, or why does it not want to accept the uncertainty and unorganized things even when it knows nothing productive is going to come out of it? And finally, how do you stop and focus on relevant things? The stopping and focusing on relevant things is a choice. So you've gone the OCD route, you've solved it over and over and over again. You know that nothing is happening from you solving it over and over again. So let's stop doing that and let's focus on real life. And as you focus on real life, the other stuff kind of goes away on its own because you're not feeding it energy. Why this specific thought? It's because that kind of thought, that kind of fear shocks you. It creates a lot of anxiety for you, and it depends on, you know, each individual person. You know, for some people, contamination is the worst possible thing that could happen to them, right? For another person, harm is the worst. For somebody, religious would be the worst, right? So it just really depends on the specific person, you know. But again, it's whatever your theme is specifically. it's avoiding trying to solve it. So leaving it uncertain, leaving it without trying to figure it out. And the next question is how to fight scrupulosity. So scrupulosity is, again, religious OCD, basically we call it commonly. And it's just choosing not to reassure yourself, choosing not to do anything specifically because OCD is making you. I'm not going to re-pray. I'm not going to avoid certain colors. I'm not going to avoid certain numbers. I'm not going to do any of that, because the more you do it, the more you feed OCD. So if you want to pray, you're praying because you want to do it, not because OCD wants you to do it. If you want to wear a certain color, you wear it because you want to do it. So it has to come from you, not from OCD. If you feel like you're doing something out of fear, that if I don't do it, that means it's going to be bad or whatever, right? Then it's OCD making you do it, and you have to choose to refuse. And again, when you're choosing to refuse, it's not going to feel good. The anxiety is going to be there. It's kind of the same like the person was saying with the contamination. You feel contaminated when you don't allow yourself internally, right? When you don't allow yourself to do reassurance. But overall, your mind is learning that this is irrelevant. And please, if you guys haven't watched the first part of this video, I highly recommend you watch it, because I really explained in depth how OCD works, and this will make more sense to you if you're new to OCD and you're just watching my videos for the first time. Please watch the video before this, because it really will go into depth of how OCD works. But it's just seeing your theme and refusing. Scrupulosity, cleanliness, whatever. It doesn't harm. It doesn't really matter what it is. Pushing through, refusing, allowing the anxiety to be there. It's over here. Attention is over here. Your anxiety, feelings, images, urges, whatever it wants to throw at you, let it throw it at you. Don't show fear. Allow it to be there. Give it its own little corner. But you're here. All your focus is on your real life. And you will see that as you do this, it starts to, get weaker. You can kind of see through the thoughts. They don't feel as real anymore. You can, see the logic behind it. It's like in the beginning, you can't see any of it because your feelings are so high, right? But as the anxiety goes down, you start to see it how everybody else sees it. So I hope you liked the video today. If you would like to start the recovery program, the information is on youhaveocd.com. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.